Hey everyone, in this video we're going to go over a hip mobility routine that's going to help your hips feel much healthier. Now, whether or not you're a catcher in baseball, it doesn't matter. We all want healthy hips. And these exercises here are really going to help increase your hip mobility and make you feel a lot better. So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is called hip rockers. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up one knee down, and then we want to spread out as far as we can here to one side. We're going to use our hands out in front here to kind of help take a little bit of pressure off if we need. And then all we do from here is we're going to rock back and forth. So we're going to sit as far back as we can and then rock forward here. Now when we get to the forward part, what I want to show you guys here is I want to try to get into extension on this side right here. Okay, so I can go to extension, back into flexion as much as I can, and I'll just rock back and forth here. So I'll swap sides here so you can see what it looks like here. Again, we'll just sit back, get all the way into extension, and back and forth there, just like that. The next thing that we're going to do is the quad stretch. Now the quad stretch is actually something that most people are probably doing wrong, so I'm going to take you through what you want to be doing in your quad stretch. So our setup in the quad stretch is in a half kneeling position here, and what we want to do is on this half kneeling side, usually what you see happen is we just drive our hips forward, and I have this big arch in my lower back, and I'm not really feeling a stretch in here. I feel a little bit more at the front of my hip. And what I want to do is I actually want to feel a stretch in the quad. And so what we want to do is we're going to take it back up to the top, and we're going to tilt our hips underneath us. So we're going to do that by squeezing our back glute, and we're going to squeeze our core here in the front. Now if you want to up that stretch a little bit, you can think about pulling in with this front foot. So I'm almost going to think about sliding it in while I'm pushing forward here. That'll create a lot of tension in our hips, which will give us a little bit better stretch. The next one we're going to do is called the pigeon pose, and you see this a lot in yoga, and we're going to use it here in our mobility routine for our hips. So the best way to kind of see how to get into this position, you're going to start on all fours, and then you just drive one leg up into a bit of external rotation here. So we're going to be on the outside of this front leg, and then we want to extend our back leg and sit back into here. You should feel a really good stretch through your glutes. And then the other thing that I like to do, I'll show you here, I'm going to swap sides, is I want to try to get this hip as well as I slide back. I want to try to get that into extension there. So I'm getting my glutes and I'm getting a little bit of an extension in my other side here. Now the next one that we do is kind of a mixture of a bunch of different things, but it helps us get good hip extension, and at the same time we're going to work some rotation through our spine. So I call these Tspine Hip Extensions. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start in like a bear crawl position and just barely lift my knees up off the ground, and then I'm going to slide one foot underneath. I want both feet to end up flat, so I'm getting a little shoulder stability here as well. And then once I get to this position, this is where I need to extend my hips to get good hip extension. And then I'm going to reach back across to get some rotation through my spine. And then I'll just rotate back over to the other side, hip extension, reach across. And so I'm hitting a lot of different areas in that exercise right there. I'm getting hip extension, some shoulder stability, and a little bit of thoracic rotation. This is something that we should do every day, and this will help us keep our hips healthy, whether we're baseball players, catchers specifically, or just the everyday person that's looking to have better hip mobility. If you guys like these hip mobility exercises, please check out our hip mobility program on our Catching IQ online training site. Thanks for watching.